So for the last couple of weeks, I've had the Salnotes Zero from 7 Hertz. And using these headphones has been interesting. So I think the one that most people might compare it to are the Moondrop Qs. And they, in my opinion, they are pretty similar. There are some things that I noticed about the Salnotes versus the Moondrop Qs. So kind of first out of the box bit, in the Moondrop Qs, the vocals seem to be a bit more muted, depending on for most of the vocals that I've listened to, while the Salnotes kind of seem to have that more balanced out. Obviously, these were tuned by Crinacle, so there is that. And basically, all you get in the box is like that Velcro strap to hold the wire together, the IEMs themselves, and then, various colored tips. And I obviously got the Mecha store version of it. So I've got that bit going. So I did not get the, microphone variety for them. But one thing I do like is, again, like most other IEMs, they do disconnect a bit. So you can kind of pull them apart and replace them or do different things with them. So if they happen to make Bluetooth modules for them, you are able to do that. The one quirk with them that I think I had not found with a few other headphones is that up to about, what was it? About that point, I think it was. Somewhere in here. Yeah, right about there, I think. Is they were kind of fused together, so I did have to split them all the way down to here so that I could yank that back up if I really wanted to, but, for the most part, I've been using it primarily listening to school content stuff, but yeah. So, again, some assembly required like most other IEMs, except for the Moondrop Qs. And they do sound actually pretty good. I do like more of the balance stuff versus like blowing out the bass completely so that I can hear some of the sparkle and some of the other stuff, which I think when I've listened to stuff, I've noticed a bit more sparkle than the Moondrop Qs give a little bit. So obviously I have the orange tips installed currently, so the yellow bag doesn't kind of discolors what is inside of here a bit. So you've got your varying different sizes in like your yellow, your whatever kind of off-white that is, your red, blue, and, well, cyan and blue, I guess. I dropped one. Where'd it go? Hello, friend. There it is. Okay. So the bag does make it funny colored. So there is that. But they are a good pair of headphones. Or IEMs. I like them. Not just because I gave YouTuber people money, but yeah. So it's a lot. So the one difference from all the other IEMs that I've picked up otherwise is the fact that it's not angled on the jack here, which for stuff like the Steam Deck is like, I mean, it kind of sticks out versus like having something angled that you can kind of have not get in the way and risk breaking as much like that. But at the same time, it does work really well for those wired USB-C adapters because it's straight through versus angled. So it's one thing that I appreciate when it comes to wired stuff. So it works better with something like this versus otherwise, but then it is kind of a downside when you're working with another device that doesn't have the angled bit on it that way, which, I mean, you could obviously compensate for. And yeah. Again, doesn't have the headphones. It does, yeah, it sounds, like I said, similar to the Moondrop shoes. And the build inside, the grills inside of it are, come on, they do have kind of a bit more of that metal, so they are a bit tougher when it comes to kind of trying to clean it out and wipe it out. So you're not going to have like a big gaping hole with like a mesh that's just going to pop out if you're a little bit too rough on it. Not that I've done something like that before. And the Moondrop shoes are kind of the same way, to where they have the, obviously they're spring tips, but they've kind of got that harder metal bit inside of them that's going to be a bit harder to tear out. The only downside that I see really is it doesn't come with a handy little egg bag to carry them in, so they might get beat up depending on where you put them in your pocket. But other than that, they have served me well so far in what I've used them for. So I would recommend them if you're in the market, and they are only around $20, just like the Moondrop shoes. So one thing I will add to everything is, as I've used them a bit more, the 7Hz headphones do have a thing, at least at first, where the vocals in a lot of songs seem to be a bit more muted than in the Moondrop shoes. And that might be a result, probably more than anything, of the tuning and probably the voice ranges. But that is something that I noticed, and it's like, oh, okay. But other than that, they sound pretty similar. I've kind of listened to them like back and forth, each switching them out. Looked kind of weird doing it at school, but I did test them both out on the same set of songs otherwise, and they do sound pretty similar. It's just the slightly muted vocals. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.